What's up, YouTube? It's your boy Nash here. Welcome back to the channel. Now, before we get into this week's episode of WWE's Biggest Issue, guys, we are 10 subs away from 200. All we need is 10 people to subscribe to the channel and we will hit 200 subs. That's it. That's all we need. Because the moment we do get to 200 subs, you guys see it. A Korean Strike of Neos booster box. I'm going to be opening this up in its entirety on the channel on the hopes... excuse me. On the hopes to potentially pull this guy, Elemental Hero Air Neos, the so-called forbidden Yu-Gi-Oh card. Is it really forbidden? I'll let you guys be the judge of that. Now, if this channel gets to 500 subs, I'm going to open up this Korean LOB booster box in its entirety on the channel that I got from my partners over at Collector Store. So be sure to check them out. Link and address will be in the description below. By checking them out, not only does it support them, it also supports the channel, and I would greatly appreciate it. On the hopes to potentially pull a Blue Eyes White Dragon, a Dark Magician, a Red Eyes Black Dragon, a piece of Exodia, Pot of Greed. The possibilities are out there, guys. However, if this channel gets to 1,000 subs, I'm opening up this first edition Toon Chaos box in its entirety on the channel that I also got from my partners at Collector Store, on the hopes to potentially pull my second ever Collector's Rare, because it wouldn't be the first time that I pulled a Collector's Rare, because if you guys remember my Genesis Impact box opening, I also pulled this. A Collector's Rare Beat Cup from the Underworld. First edition, obviously. It is absolutely gorgeous. I am planning on getting this graded at some point, but there are more cards than that. Truth be told, guys, there's this. All these cards, inside these top loaders contains a bunch of cards that I'm going to be getting graded, and a lot of these, especially this one right here, you guys see it is Korean, so there's a lot of guys. I'm gonna get them graded. When? I don't know. You guys will have to subscribe to the channel to find out. But if you guys want to see these boxes get opened, maybe you guys want more episodes of WWE's Biggest Issue, maybe you guys want more episodes of Yu-Gi-Oh's Biggest Issue, deck profiles, card discussions, WWE topic videos, or maybe, just maybe, you guys want some premium live event predictions and results. Well, if you guys want all of that and more, my channel is the place to be. So if you guys are new to the channel and you guys haven't done so already, because I know that a lot of you guys are, make sure you guys subscribe to the channel, turn on the notification bell as my camera keeps moving, and be sure to follow me on all of my social media. My ads will be in the description below, as will the info to my fan mail. It will also be in the description as well. Now, for this week's episode of WWE's Biggest Issue, I'm actually going to be doing something a little bit different today, because as you guys know, over the course of the last year, as my camera keeps moving for some reason, over the course of the last year, there's been a lot of WWE superstars across Raw, SmackDown, and NXT who have improved so much. Not just in terms of their character, but just in terms of their capabilities, if you will, in the ring. And for this week's episode, I'm going to be talking about the top 10. The top 10 most improved superstars of the last year. And we do have a few honorable mentions, so let's not waste any time. Let's get straight into it. So for the honorable mentions, we have Roxanne Perez, Wes Lee, Solo Sikoa, Logan Paul, and Dominic Mysterio. Roxanne Perez, yes, it is true that she did become a women's tag team champion, NXT women's champion, women's breakout tournament winner. Yes, it's true that she did all that. The problem is that ever since Stand and Deliver, her win and loss record has been, it's been up there. It's been up there, but she has improved quite a bit, but she does have a long way to go. It's the same thing with Wesley. Wesley became such a dominant North American champion until Dominic Mysterio took the title last week, which I don't know. I honestly don't know, but Wesley, he still has a long way to go. Solo Sikoa, the exact same thing. He went from being this huge babyface on NXT to now becoming Roman Reigns' second right hand man. A replacement right hand man, if you will, the enforcer to Roman Reigns, the undisputed champion. And is it time for him to be a champion? I think it is. I think it is time for him to be a champion. And Logan Paul, I know that a lot of people might not like Logan Paul, creatively speaking, but if you really think about it, he has done everything he said that he wanted to do. He said that he's been putting in the work, he's paid his dues, and now he's in WWE. It took him so many years, and now he's finally in WWE, but he still has quite a bit to prove. And Dom, don't get it twisted, right? I'm all for wanting to break away from the family and wanting to branch out on your own, create your own legacy. I'm all for that. I am all for that 100%. No doubt about it. But the things that Dom has, did at Clash of the Castle in Cardiff, you can't not unsee what transpired, But the growth that Dominic Mysterio has had since Cardiff, he's improved so much. Yeah, it's true that he lost at WrestleMania to his father Ray, but the fact that he's now North American champion proves that he is ready. But just like all the other four, he still has a lot to prove. But now we gotta move into the top 10, and we have exactly 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 champions. We have 5 champions on this top 10 list, and the first are actually the undisputed tag team champions, Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn. Look, you guys know, over the course of the last year, the Bloodline story escalated so quickly, and this all started at last year's WrestleMania in Dallas, where Kevin Owens was in the main event of night 1 of WrestleMania, not only hosting the Kevin Owens show, but also having Stone Cold Steve Austin as his guest and fighting him in a no-holds-barred match. You can't unsee that. Just that alone, right? The idea of getting to see Stone Cold at this time, at this era in time, at this era in time in WWE, at this point, it's like, I'm good. I got the, it's like 10 years from now, when people ask you what happened at WrestleMania 38, you tell them, well, Stone Cold wrestled for the first time in almost 20 years. You know, and Sami Zayn, yeah, it's true he lost to Johnny Knoxville of all people, but he improved so much. He went from being a so-called liberator to being the honorary Uce to becoming a damn near full-blown Uce. And now both Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn are tag team champions, which obviously, yes, it's something that both Kevin Owens and Kevin and Sami have wanted, for their careers, because it's the old adage, fight forever. No matter where these guys go, whether Kevin Owens goes to Raw, Sami's on SmackDown, whether they go to the opposite brand, or whether they're on the same brand, they're always gonna end up fighting each other or fighting with one another against the world. Excuse me. In this case, it's them versus the whole world, and it just goes to show how much these two had grown, not just from the last year, but also from the last decade or so. Dating back to their days in NXT up until now, they've improved quite a bit. But now we move into number 9, and it's Austin Theory, the United States Champion. Think about this. Hang on, guys. There we go. Shoutouts to Briss for the pink lemonade. Not sponsored. Best drink of all time. Do not at me in the comments, people. But that being said, you look at a guy like Austin Theory, right? He got called up to the main roster in 2020 way too early. Way too early. His debut match, his main roster debut match, was at WrestleMania, teaming up with I think it was teaming up with Andrade? Was it? Hang on, guys. I actually gotta bust out the book, because I believe it was Austin. Because I believe it was Andrade. Let's see. No, it was not. It was actually Angel Garza. It was actually Angel Garza. Andrade was out with an injury, I believe. But, yeah, it was way too early for him to be on the main roster. And then he ended up getting cut from the main roster, and he went back to NXT, joined up with Johnny Gargano and his wife Candice LeRae, forming the faction known as The Way. Now, think about this. Money in the Bank, 2-time United States Champion, defeated John Cena, defeated Edge, and Rey Mysterio in a single year. Literally 2 Hall of Famers and a first ballot Hall of Famer in John Cena. Think about that, guys. Think about that. And think about, again, think about how much he's improved over the course of the last year. Again, going back to WrestleMania last year in Dallas, losing to Pat McAfee in his WrestleMania re-debut, if you will, and then this past year, back in April, he defeated John Cena. That if that right there doesn't prove that Austin Theory deserves to be U.S. champion, I don't know what is. I don't know what is proof, but Austin Theory definitely deserves to be on this list. Although to be fair, the last like 2 or 3 title defenses that he's had to have the help of Pretty Deadly, but he has proven to be a main event player on SmackDown, because now that Roman Reigns isn't showing up as often as he's supposed to, this now makes Austin Theory the head honcho of SmackDown, the big champion, if you will, of SmackDown, and that's saying a lot. That right there is saying a lot, given how how big of a star Roman Reigns is. But speaking of big stars, coming in at number 8 is Cody Rhodes. Think about this. Think about this. Aside from the big matches that Cody had against Seth freaking Rollins, not just at WrestleMania, not just at Backlash, not just inside Hell in a Cell, but think about this: winning the Royal Rumble, going on to WrestleMania, fighting Roman Reigns for the title, and then stepping into the ring not once but twice against Brock Lesnar. I mean, that right there just proves it. That right there just proves that Cody Rhodes deserves to finish the story, but how he finishes it is up to him. It is all entirely up to him. But I will say this: Cody Rhodes versus Brock Lesnar, the final round three, I can guarantee you, it is not going to be pretty. It will not be pretty. That's all I'm going to say about that. But coming in at number 7 is the man that calls himself the one true megastar, with everybody saying L.A. Knight. Yeah. I gotta admit, L.A. Knight truly has evolved. He went from being a part of Maximum Male Models as a manager of sorts, to now becoming one of the biggest names on SmackDown. And that's saying a lot, given the fact that he's only held the $1 Million Championship, which was once created by the Hall of Famer Ted DiBiase. And just that alone proves that he was ready for the main roster. And I will admit, his time in NXT, it was a bit strange, because in my opinion, I feel like as if LA Knight was not suited for NXT. I feel like as if he was suited for the main roster, because of the fact that he's traveled all over the world, he's paid his dues, he's won championships every single promotion he's been in, and I think him on the main roster should have happened about a year and a half ago, and he probably would have been a champion by now. But how creative makes him a champion is on them. It's up to them to make LA Knight a champion. Excuse me. But I don't see it happening anytime soon. But it will happen, guys. It will happen. But coming in at number 6 is Damian Priest. Think about this. Last year, what was it, 2 years ago at SummerSlam, he became the United States champion. Last year he was in, what was it, the co-main event of SummerSlam? Was it? Yeah, I think it was the co-main event of last year's SummerSlam. And what I find so interesting... Actually, no, not really. 4th match of the card, Judgment Day against the Mysterios. Think about that. Judgment Day lost that match. Look at what's happened now. Backlash, San Juan, Puerto Rico. It was basically his WrestleMania moment against Bad Bunny in a San Juan street fight. Money in the Bank. He is now Mr. Money in the Bank. That makes him probably the most dangerous man in all of WWE, because if he wants to, he could cash in on the NXT champion Carmelo Hayes, which is a possibility, but how he does it is up to him. But think about that. I mean, the last couple years, the last year or so, he's improved a lot, and I am now an even bigger fan of Damian Priest than I was when he was in NXT. But speaking of the NXT champion, coming in at number 5 is the NXT champion Carmelo Hayes. I mean, come on. Breakout tournament winner, 2-time North American champion, Cruiserweight champion, the only man to unify both the Cruiserweight and the North American titles, NXT champion, had a huge matchup on Raw against Finn Balor. We've seen him make sporadic appearances on both Raw and SmackDown. If that right there doesn't prove that Carmelo Hayes has improved so much, I don't know what is, because Carmelo Hayes has proven to be arguably one of the biggest names in NXT, and that's saying a lot because Braun Breaker, he's up there, as is Ilya Dragunov, and this Sunday at the Great American Bash, Hayes and Dragunov are gonna go at it for the NXT title, and that one's gonna be a banger. So I'm actually excited for that one. But Carmelo Hayes definitely deserves to be in the number 5 spot. But coming in at number 4 is Miss Money in the Bank, Io Sky. Here's the thing. She went, especially in WWE, she went from getting second place in the second Mania Classic to changing up her character, if you will, to the woman that we see now, to becoming NXT Women's Champion, to becoming NXT Women's Tag Team Champion, now to becoming Miss Money in the Bank, and she's a part of Damage Control alongside Bayley and Dakota Kai. That right there just speaks for itself. I'm not gonna say anything else except just those accolades. Those accolades prove that, and also let's not forget, 2-time WWE Women's Tag Team Champion. Do I even need to say anything else? I don't think I do. But we come now into the final 3, and at number 3, probably the most obvious, the Usos. Think about this. The last 3 years have been insanely crazy for the Usos. Jimmy Uso getting injured. Jey Uso steps up. Main eventing pay-per-view, premium live events on numerous occasions. Challenging Roman Reigns twice for the Undisputed Universal title. Main eventing WrestleMania alongside Roman. Jimmy Uso comes back. Usos are now 7-time tag team champions. They unify both the Raw and SmackDown tag team titles, making them 8-time champions. And they became one of the first tag teams to main event WrestleMania, alongside the now champions Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn. If that right there doesn't prove that the Usos have been at the top of their game over the last couple years, I don't know what is proof, because the Usos have proven to be arguably one of the greatest tag teams ever in all, not just in WWE, in all of professional wrestling, and that's saying a lot. Given the fact that there's a lot of tag teams in professional wrestling all over the world that are on that level, and the Usos are definitely one of those tag teams. But coming in at number 2 is the Women's World Champion, Rhea Ripley. Think about this. She became the first ever NXT UK Women's Champion. She became the last ever, the final SmackDown Women's Champion, and the first ever Women's World Champion. The last year for Rhea Ripley has been incredible. Joining with Edge and Priest in the Judgment Day, getting Dominic Mysterio to join the Judgment Day. Now she's on top of the Raw Women's Division as the Women's World Champion, just tearing down the competition, proving that no one is on her level. And as far as who could dethrone her, it's hard to say, but we do have Io Sky with the briefcase, so she could cash in. She could cash in if she wanted to. But we come in at number 1, and it's probably the most obvious: the World Heavyweight Champion Seth freaking Rollins. Think about this, guys. last year, 2022, he was one of the most despised heels in all of WWE. But over time, especially after Hell in a Cell, I think it was, the fans started to slowly get by with Rollins, and they realized you can't not hate Seth Rollins. You can't not hate Seth Rollins. You just can't. Rollins has already become a two-time U.S. champion and the first ever world heavyweight champion, and he even took Logan Paul to the limit at WrestleMania and still kicked his ass, pinned him in the middle of the ring, 1, 2, 3. And now look at what's happened. I don't know if that right there isn't proof that Seth Rollins has proven to be a dominant champion, a dominant superstar. I don't know what is, but that is going to do it for this top 10, which brings me to the question of the day. Who do you think should have been on this top 10 list, and who do you think should not have been? Let me know down in the comments below, and that will do it for this week's episode of WWE's Biggest Issue. Hopefully you guys enjoyed. If you did, make sure you guys smash that thumbs up button. If you guys are new to the channel and you guys want more episodes of WWE's Biggest Issue, make sure you guys subscribe to the channel, turn on the notification bell, and follow me on all of my social media. My ads will be in the description below, as will the info to my fan mail. It will also be down in the description as well. And on that, this is your boy Nash, signing out.